here you go. So this is the Gita Press Gorakhpur's text with the Hindi translation of the Bhagavatam. And we are in the first, I think second chapter, let's see, first chapter. Yeah, we're going to finish the first chapter here. Yeah, so what's coming up is second chapter. Sorry to scroll up and down for you. Here we go. So we are looking into the story of Ajamil, right? So the story of Ajamil, and then where are we now in the story of Ajamil? Just a second here. I'll just switch off the video for a second. Okay. All right, sure. So the story of Ajamil is going like this, where we have the Yamaduta. Ajamil is no more alive, and Yamadutas are already there, and in no time, Vishnu is a parshadas. The servants of Vishnu, the dutas, the messengers of Vishnu also there, and the messengers of Vishnu are patiently listening to the arguments of the Yamas Kinkaras, and they're about to finish their argument here. At this point, in this shloka from 58 or so onwards, they're exactly talking about Ajamila. Before that, they've answered all the questions by the Vishnu Dutas regarding what is Dharma according to them, and they're very clear about what they're doing, their activities. And now they're especially talking about Ajamila and what kind of a person he is, who has been given to dushkarmas, wrong conduct, to the point that he deserves nothing but naraka. Naraka means hell. So let us see this shloka onwards. Ekadasa vanam yataha, 58th shloka is what we saw last week. Ekadaso varam yataha pitru sandesha krudda dvijaha adaya tata avrittaha alapushpa samit kushahan. Ajamila was been sent for a very, was been given to such satkarmas, activities which are so much in line with the Shastra that he goes to the forest and all that he focuses is to get some flowers and fruits and then some samid and the kusha grass, the darba. He will only focus on those, collecting those things. His mind is fully occupied with the puja and anushtana and whatnot his parents are given to. And that is how he was been living for a long time. But once what happened, the darsha kaminam kanchit shudram saha pujishyaya pitva cha madhumayrevam madhadurnita netraya. So with the turn of events, once he noticed, because when you keep doing the same thing again and again, sometimes, you get some surprises in his life. The big, thing which he suddenly, which fell on his eyes, or the two drunk person, one male and one female, and they are given to a lot of drinking, and they were enjoying physically the company of each other, and their eyes were all filled with so much of passion and lust for each other. So he saw that. Mattaya Vishwatannivya Vyapetam Nirapatrabam Kridayan Manugayantam Hasantamanayantike. Mattaya, with so much of matta. Matta means unmatta. So intoxicated, high in spirit. There are two types of spiritual, Swami Dayananji says. One is the spirituality which, people say, and the other one is the spirituality of, being drunk and all that. So this is the person who is given to the other spirituality. And sorry about that. Also, so these two people, and they were all singing and dancing and laughing and courting each other's company. To that point, they drew the attention of Ajamila. दृष्ट्वा तां कामलिप्तेन बहुना परिरम्भिताम् जगाम हृच्छयवशं सहसैव विमोहितः. Just in no time, Ajamil lost his mind, and his mind was also filled with all sorts of, lust and whatnot. He was also, having there's a physical change. Drishtva tam kama liptena. He was also afflicted with kama and bahuna, parirambita. Both the men and women, they were half naked, and they were, embracing each other to that point, where, Ajamila's, was also losing control over himself, his mind, and he was totally lost. Sahasaiva, right away, he was filled with moha. Moha means, lot of imaginations about what they were doing. स्तम्भयन्नात्मनामात्मानं यावत् सत्त्वं यथा श्रुतं न शशाक समाधातुं मनोमदनवेपितं. Okay, so Jagama Hridchayavasham. So Stambhayan, he was trying to control, he was trying to restrain himself. Atman Atmanam means what? He was trying to restrain himself with restrain his mind with his own, being self-conscious, being self-aware, and thinking that this is not what I should be, indulging mentally even, and all that. But in no time he lost his mind. He was, trying to bring all the Shastra, all the knowledge, all that he has heard, about Sattva, what is Sattva in this situation, what is Rajas in this situation, what is Tamas in this situation. But unfortunately, that kind of a self-suggestion, even based on Shastra, whatever he has learned, did not help him there. Nashashaka samadhatam, he was unable to restrain himself, and then what happened? Mano yada madana vepitam manaha. So his mind was totally lost in what was going on. And then what happened? Tannimitta smara vyaja grahagrastho vichetanaha tameva manasa dhyayan Dhyayan Swadharma Dviraramaha Tannimittaha. Because of that, he was as though like the Pishacha. Pishacha means the demon. The ghost of Kama has engulfed his mind, has filled his mind. Vichetanaha. His mind was all lost. Tameva Manasa Dhyayan. He was only thinking about what he saw there, how these two people were so intimate. And all that. Swadharma Dvirarama, he gave up all his duties, imagining about something physical. He was giving up all his duties, and he was so attracted to that woman, especially in that thing. So that is the thing. Let's see this. Now, next sloka. तमेव तोषयामास पित्रेणार्तेन यावता ग्राम्यैर्मनोरमैः कामैः प्रसीदेत यथा तथा. Look at him. He was taking away all the wealth. His father, grandfather, whatever they earned and saved with their hard work, he took away all the wealth. He kind of spent on her, that woman. And because that woman was a prostitute, actually. So he was spending on that woman his entire wealth. He didn't have any money. He was just a young person. but he took away all that for the sake of pleasing that woman. Yatha tata, whatever would please her, he would do. Buying her all expensive clothing and jewelry and whatnot. विप्रां स्वभार्याम् अप्रौढां कुले महति लम्बितां विससर्जा चिरात् पापः सैरिण्यापाङ्गविदधीः. So he was losing all the wealth, I said. And then what else I want to say in that is, there is the power of dussanga. You can see that. So he was, that is the difference between satsanga and dussanga. Dussanga doesn't have to be even the company. Even if you can kind of, like the Mahatma Gandhi's famous, your eyes and ears, all your senses, whatever they're associated with, that has to be something, a sat vastu, something which is real, which is tangible, which is something which is going to take you to make you progress, bring more auspicious, bring more mangalam, kalyanam to your life. That is satsanga. With your senses also, any kind of a dussanga can lead to such kind of a fall. And Vipram, so Bharyam, he had given up his own wife. He had a very able and capable family. He had a very good grihastha life. He gave up that also. And he lived for a long life, serving only that prostitute. Visasarja chirat papaha. Visasarja chirat papaha. In no time he was lost in more papa. He was immersed. He got himself immersed in so much of papa. Swairinya panga viddadhi. He was trespassing all kinds of rules, all kinds of, niyamas, norms of living, of the society, of the community, of the family, for the sake of that woman. Yatas chopa ninye nyayato dhanam Bhavārāsya kutumbinyāha kutumbam mandadhīrayan. Yatatataha. Yatatataha means in whatever way he could, suppose if he has no money, he would go beg, borrow or steal. That didn't matter to him, because his mind was only filled with that woman and how to please that woman. And that woman, unfortunately, was somebody whose business was to, was to attract people like him. So he was taking care of her family. She had a family also with him. So he was only taking care of her family. Yadasau Shastra Mullangya. Now the Yamadutas are saying, Yadasau Shastra Mullangya, having crossed over, having given up all sorts of restraint, all sorts of guidance from the Shastra. Svairacharya garhitah avartata chiram kalam aghayurashu chirmalat. He was living with her for such a long life, and kind of eating and drinking in her place. So that kind of an eating and drinking, especially in people given to such kinds of lifestyle, So in this case, the woman who was given to such kind of lifestyles, even eating in their place is supposed to be a papam. What to talk about somebody who has been living with her and at the cost of his own family, his own, community. He was born in a very good Brahmin family. So nothing really, kind of helped him to control himself. So he spent a lot of time, and as a result, he had crossed all the rules, all the red lines, they say, right? He had crossed all the red lines of Shastra. And eating in such a person's place, given to such a lifestyle, in this case, the lifestyle of that woman who has been spending her time like that with other men, that is called a papam, and that is considered to be, eating dirt. That is where the mala word is, whatever enjoyment somebody has in that place, even eating and drinking, that food and water is like mala. Mala means something which is like a trash. Tatayenam, last sloka in this chapter. Tatayenam danda pane sakasham kruta kilbisham neshyamo kruta nirvesham yatra dandena shuddhyati. Tataha. So Yamakinkaras are finally saying, danda pane sakasham. There's no other option but to sakasham, take him right away to Dandapanehe, to the abode of Yamaraja. Because of all the kilbisha, because of all the papas. Neshyamaha, we're going to take him there. Agrita nirvesham. So was not done any prayashita also. So the Yamakinkaras are very clear. They were very, very closely observing, watching all his entire lifestyle for the entire length of time. To the point even the Vishnu Dutas might not know so much of details, right? Here, the whole Ajamila story here is narrated by the Yamakinkaras to Vishnu Parshadas, as though they didn't know what all happened, right? So much of details, and they have decided, they have seen that he had done no prayashita also. So he deserves dandena. The only way, shuddhayet, they're saying we're going to take him to Yamaloka for danda, for punishment. So shuddhayet, for the sake of cleansing, for the sake of preparing him for his next life. It is not that we are trying to be, angry with him or punish him and all that. We want to give him that kind of a treatment, that kind of a siksha, a kind of a, correction. They say, juvenile correction. In America, they say correction facility. They don't call it jail. Sometimes they call it jail, but in the correction facility. So that is what he is saying. We are taking him for that correction facility. So he becomes a good, clean person again. Iti Srimad Bhagavate Mahapurane Paramhamsayam Samhitayam Sashtaskande Ajamila Upakhyana Prathamodhyayah. So this is the completion of this chapter of the Ajamila's story. Let's look into the next chapter, a few more shlokas. So what the Vishnu Parshadas, what the Vishnu's Duta's argument is. All right? So let us see. Sri Shuka Uvacha. Ata Dvitiyo Dhyayah, second chapter of the sixth canto. Sixth skanda, second chapter. Yevam te bhagavad dhuta yamadhuta bhima vibhashitam upadharyath than rajan pratyahur nayako vidaha. Yevam te bhagavad dhutaha. Bhagavad dhuta, Vishnu dhutas, yamadhuta bhimabhashitam. In this manner, the Vishnu Dutas were patiently listening to what all the Yamadutas had to say. Upadhaya, having listened. Atha, then thereafter, Tan Rajan. Hey, Parikshit, now listen to what the Vishnu Dutas have to say. The Vishnu Dutas are also no less. They're visionaries. They not only know Dharma, they also know what is the purpose of Dharma. And ultimately, what do you want to accomplish? Or do you want to punish somebody for the sake of punishment? Do you want to punish somebody for the sake of by going by what is right and what is wrong from the book of Dharma? Or do you want to make it more dynamic? Do you want to see do you want to bring a real change in that person, and not only in that person? Do you want to give a message to everybody in the world? Message of hope. So that is how they're going to be presenting this case here. Vishnu Duta Ujuhu Aho Kashtam Dharmadrisham Adharma Spurshate Sabham Yatra Dandyeshva Papeshu Dando Yaidhriyate Vrita. They're first saying, Aho Kashtam. Hey, Yamadutas, you're missing the whole point. Okay? So right away they are dismissing all their arguments. Adharma sprishate sabhat. How can there be adharma? How can there be injustice in your court of justice? Yata dandyeshu apapeshu. Because apapaha, adande, apape, dandaha. Because you're going to be punishing somebody who is free from all papas, who doesn't deserve any punishment. But you're giving for no, your whole exercise is meaningless because you're having a wrong candidate. Prajanam pitaro ye cha shastar sadava samaha yadi syat teshu vaishamyam tam yanti sharanam prajaha. Prajanam pitaraha, your boss. Yamadharma is father, he is like a father of all the people. Shastaraha, he is like the judge, he is like the advocate. Sadhavaha, his advocacy is for always for something good for everybody. Paran karyam sadhanoti. Yamadharmaraja is always thinking, how can he help somebody, right? Is that what is real intent? Samaha, is he not equal to everybody? So these Yama Parshadas, these Yama's Kinkaras, servants, they have also been present in the case as though they want to be fair and neutral. But here the Yamadutas are, right away saying, you're unfair, you're not neutral. Yadisyat teshu vaishamyam, you have a vaishamya, you are so confused in this case and you are not giving the right judgment. Then in that case, where will they go? If the Supreme Court of Justice declines a case, if they pass a judgment, against a person, then there's nowhere else to go. Likewise, in the court of Yama, if this kind of an injustice is going to happen, where will people go? See how much of care this Bhagavan's messengers have towards everybody, anybody. At an individual level, they're so caring. Yadyad acharati shreyan nitaras dihate sayat pramanam kurute lokas tad anuvartate. See, Bhagavan Krishna also has a similar sloka in Bhagavad Gita. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha. Like that. So here also a kind of a very similar shloka. After all, both Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam is from the same author. Who is the author? Vedavyasa. So you can see the similarity in some of the shlokas. So whatever the Bhagavan Krishna's concern was also to Arjuna, hey Arjuna, whatever people like me, who? Krishna, and you, Arjuna, whatever we do, people look up to us and they try to follow, they try to imitate us. So let us be careful, let us be a role model. That was Krishna's message to Arjuna. Let us be a role model, like Pujya Swamiji says, to take up all the activities which is called upon. Take up all the role playing, all the role playings, all the roles you have taken up. They are your dharma, right? But include also roles like you being given to satsanga, shravana, shrotaha, you're also a shrotaha. All those roles also include, like you're done, that you're in front of this Bhagavatam session, right? So those roles also include. And all those roles you do with a sense of freedom. And here's the message of Bhagavad Gita for that, right? That was Bhagavan's message. Here also the same message. Yadyad acharati shreshtaha. So, Bhagavad Parshadas, Vishnu's devotees are saying all that everybody is given to Sreshtaha, whatever they are given to, Pramanam Kurute, Lokastad Anuvartate. People follow that. So, you better be careful in your judgment, Yamakinkaras. Yasyange Shira Adhaya Lokas Swapiti Nirvrutaha. Swayam dharma adharmam va nahi veda yata pashuhu. Yasya ankhe shiraha adhaya. Your Yamaraja is such a person on whose lap everybody has to shiraha adhaya. People put their head on their lap and lokaha swapiti nirvrutaha swayam dharmam adharmam cha adharmam va nahi vedayata pashuhu. So people don't know what is dharma and adharma. They just believe in the justice of people who know dharma and adharma. People in power, they believe that they know better. People who are powerless, they believe that people in power, they are more or less given to dharma and they will always deliver justice. In that way, they're following them as though a kid has got his head on the lap of the father or mother. So the next sloka. Sakatan narpitatmanam kritamaitramachetanam vishrambhaniyo bhutanam saghruno dhrogduha tumarhati. Sakatam narpitatmanam. So the one who has given atmanam, who has given oneself to devatas like Yamaraja, people are given themselves to, such devatas. Krita maitra machetanam, and given to, having a kind of a friendly outlook towards people like you all. Vishrambaniya bhutanam sagruno dogdrogamarhati. How can you create droha? How can you be, droha means what? How can you cheat them? How can you cheat people who are given to trusting you? Ayami krita nirvesha janma kotyam hasamapi yad vyajahara vivashah nama swastyayanam harehe. Ayam hi krita nirvesha janma kotya sahamapi. Please listen to this, where Janma Koti, even if you are a Koti Janma, and Yad Vyajahara Vivashaha, Namasvastyayanam Harehe. Even unconsciously, somebody takes up the name. In this case, Ajamila was not very conscious. He was given to so much of fear. His mind, he was losing his mind on the fear of death. But in that case, even at that place, is taken the name of Hare, Harihi. Yetanaiva hyadhonosya krutam syadagha nishkrutam yada narayana yeti jagada chaturaksharam. So, yeta yenaiva hi aganaha asya kritam syad aganish. So he has taken the 4 syllables. Aksharam, Chaturaksharam is 4 syllables. Narayana. So everyone can also repeat Narayana, 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 Narayana 4 times. We'll see the story of that once we finish this sloka. We'll stop at this point, 8 sloka, where the Yamadutas are being told by Vishnu Parshadas that he has taken the 4 syllables, Narayana, that is enough to cleanse himself of all the papas of several crores of janmas. So, dear devotees, it's so encouraging to hear that taking Bhagavan's name, because when you take Bhagavan's name, it is also an action. So all the papas are also, all the dushkarmas are also action with your hands and legs and speech. But we know that our faculty of speech is also, what is our faculty of speech? It is also, is it karma indriya or jnana indriya? Let us listen to you. One of you tell me, because I don't see anybody in my screen. So You tell me that, is it a karma indriya or jnana indriya? Your faculty of speech. Are you all there? So, the faculty of speech is it karma indriya or jnana indriya? Oh, okay, everybody is muted. So that is also, it's a karma indriya. So karma indriya means you do karma with your speech also. You may not be doing karma with your thoughts, but definitely you do karma with your speech. So since, I can see Paribai responding karma indriya. So you can see the logic. You take the Bhagavan's name, which is also a karma because it is, the faculty of speech is karma indriya. So that karma can neutralize the papas of your hands and legs. So that is a logic, very nice logic Akhandanji has given for taking to Bhagavan's name more and more. Narayana, 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 like that. So it will bring a lot of adhishta, a lot of punya. Adhishta means a lot of unseen result, because you won't really see the connection of how your karma indriya of speech is taking care of all the dushkarmas of your hands and legs and mind and also your verbal dushkarmas. But then the connection is both are karma indriyas, so they can do that job. And in this case, the name of Bhagavan, Narayana, Shankara, Shankara is also a beautiful name. Shankaroti. Bhagavan Shankar is waiting to see what good he can do for you. So Shankara, Narayana, Vasudeva, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, like that. Sri Rama, Jai Rama, Jai Jai Rama, Hara Hara Shankara, Jai Jai Shankara, like that. Taking Bhagavan's name, just even once, like he did, can have that kind of an effort. So at this point, I'll stop here. But I want to just say that there was this Madan Mohan Malviya. So this is a real story told by Akhandanji. Madan Mohan Malviya, he is the founder of the Hindu University, Banaras Hindu University, which is a huge campus, huge college. In Varanasi, the biggest landmark is next to Vishwanath temple is Banaras Hindu University in Varanasi. So this Banaras Hindu University, as you can see, it has got the name Hindu University, the only Hindu university in the world actually. Other Hindu universities are all not comparable to this Hindu university. That is why it said the only real university, real Vishwavidyalaya. But it was not existing several years ago. Madan Mohan Malviya, he brought it into existence because during the British time, he found that the Britishers were building a lot of institutes, and he wanted to have a Hindu university, but he didn't have any resource. So he would go and beg to everybody, asking what they can contribute to start a Hindu university. And only one thing he would do is, before he leaves his house to go and ask for some donation, he would just say 4 times the word Narayan, 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 4 times. You all can also say Narayan, 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 Narayan. So once he decided to go and ask for money from the Nawab of Hyderabad. So the Nawab of Hyderabad, as you can know, as you can see, as you can hear, is a Muslim. And he decided, of course, but he's a very wealthy person. So he didn't hesitate to go and ask him money. But before he left his house, he said Narayan, 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 4 times. When he reached Hyderabad, went to the Nawab, took his appointment, met him, and he asked for money for Hindu University. The Nawab was actually furious. He was not very appreciative of that. You're coming all the way and asking money for a Hindu university. For a Hindu university, I would not give anything. I will only give my slippers, sandals. So he threw his shoes on Madan Mohan Malviya. Madan Mohan Malviya took the shoes in his hands and very respectfully, with a lot of regards, as though he has got something big for his university. And next day he put an auction he put an ad in the newspaper. In that newspaper those days, he put an ad. He spent money to put an ad. Nawab's shoes have been given. Nawab has given his shoes for the Hindu university or something like that he put. And he said, if anybody can buy these shoes, we will use it for Hindu university. And when the Nawab saw the ad, he becomes so self-conscious. He became so, he was feeling so ashamed of his, action and emotion and all that. He came running to Madan Mohan Malviya and said, and gave several lakhs of rupees, more than 1 lakh of rupees he gave to the big money to Madan Mohan Malviya, and he bought back his own shoes. So that is how he got 1 lakh or even more than that, even from a person like Nawab. And by taking the name of Narayana 4 times, he could accomplish that. So this is a connection. This is a real story which Swami Akhandanji would tell. And I heard this story from Swami Pratyagatma several times. But each time when you hear the story, it kind of makes you take a resolve in your mind that, yes, I should take more Bhagavan's name, Narayan's name, like that, right? So that's why I shared the story with you. We'll wait for Vidyul to start the prayers of Swamiji, the final concluding Aarti, and then I'll see all of you after.